A powerful coastal storm system is rapidly organizing this morning just off the southeastern shoreline, and it is projected to deliver significant impacts up the entire East Coast throughout the weekend and into early next week. I'm here to break down everything you need to know about this developing system, including the latest model trends, new updates over the past 24 hours, and what has changed in the forecast. We'll begin by analyzing the model guidance, then cover the storm's expected rainfall totals, damaging winds, and potential hazards. I'll also share official graphics from local National Weather Service offices and highlight areas most at risk. After that, we'll shift briefly to today's national weather setup across the lower 48. If you haven't subscribed yet, consider doing so to stay ahead of impactful weather. Be sure to like the video if you find it helpful. And as always, if there is anything I can pray for in your life, please drop it below in the comments. Current conditions: coastal storm already brewing storm system is now churning offshore of the S. Out the east. While minimal impacts are being felt inland along the east coast right now, that's going to rapidly change as we move through the weekend. Radar is already detecting rain bands extending far inland as central South Carolina, though much of that is virga rain evaporating before reaching the ground thanks to very dry air being pulled down from the north. I live here in Columbia, South Carolina, and despite what the radar suggests, we currently have no rainfall at the surface. This storm does not have a tropical feel. If you step outside anywhere from Georgia to the Carolinas, the air feels cool and crisp, not humid, and that's because this system is not tropical in nature. Instead, it is developing as a classic nor'easter-style system, pulling in cool, dry air and strengthening from temperature contrasts. Not tropical energy. Still, tropical-like impacts are expected: heavy rain, coastal flooding, and strong winds, especially along the Georgia and Carolina coastlines. Some moisture is already being driven into the Outer Banks, and while the strongest winds haven't arrived yet, that will change dramatically within the next 12 to 24 hours. Storm structure: dual low pressure setup emerging as we expand the view farther north. Things may look quiet along the Mid-Atlantic and New England coastlines for now, but a secondary piece of energy is already digging in from the north. Over the last 24 hours, model guidance has shifted toward a dual low-pressure setup rather than one fully consolidated storm. This two-storm configuration will prolong impacts and increase rain coverage inland. Model breakdown: ECMWF Euro. Let's walk through the latest ECMWF model run. Round this afternoon, we see a strong 9,908 billion low offshore, pushing heavier rain and increasing winds into eastern North Carolina, possibly as far south as the Grand Strand of South Carolina. Many expected this storm to quickly lift northeast and exit, but now it appears it will linger offshore, stalling energy and slingshotting moisture farther inland than we originally thought. That means many areas in the Carolinas and even Georgia, which were expecting mainly dry conditions this weekend, may now deal with periods of rain and breezy winds. By Sunday morning, the model highlights two distinct low-pressure centers, one off the Carolinas and another strengthening near southern New England, setting up widespread coastal impacts from the Carolinas to Massachusetts. Heavy rain, coastal flooding, and strong onshore winds are all increasingly likely. This is very heavy rainfall, accompanied by intense wind gusts mixing down to the surface, so conditions will become dangerous by Sunday evening across Long Island and New York City if this current model projection holds true. The low-pressure center tracks farther west by Monday morning, bringing significant coastal impacts to New Jersey, Long Island, coastal New York, and potentially even the Tidewater region of Virginia. If this plays out, Monday morning could begin with a chaotic commute for millions along the eastern seaboard, as a massive plume of Atlantic moisture pushes inland. Euro GFS major storm difference be Monday afternoon. The Euro ECMWF model shows this northern low-pressure system pushing inland briefly before weakening, signaling the gradual end of the storm for the mid-Atlantic. Now, let's compare that to the GFS model starting from this morning. The GFS develops the low slightly farther north, pushing widespread rainfall deep into the Midlands of South Carolina. Things turn rough along the Outer Banks, where shades of yellow, orange, and red on radar indicate torrential rainfall and wind gusts of 30 to 50 miles per hour. Unlike the Euro, the GFS actually brings the storm ashore over the Outer Banks late Sunday, before it drifts offshore again and weakens. Storm impact on the northeast. Euro versus GFSI in the northeast and mid-Atlantic. The models sharply disagree. GFS solution keeps one main low-pressure system, with less separation of energy, meaning lighter rainfall totals and less intense impacts for New York, New Jersey, and New England. Euro solution shows a dual low-pressure setup, which amplifies rainfall and winds and increases the risk of coastal flooding from New Jersey to Cape Cod. This scenario would be more impactful. Short-range models reveal a shift inland. Now let's check the HRRR high-resolution rapid refresh model, often reliable in short-term storm evolution. By this afternoon, the HRRR spreads steady rain all the way into Charlotte and Columbia, with precipitation reaching Greenville, Spartanburg, and Augusta. This suggests much more inland moisture than previously expected. By Sunday morning, rain extends deep into central Georgia, with increasing coastal wind gusts. While intensity lightens on Sunday, we still see a persistent shield of rain and breezy to windy conditions along the coast. Late Sunday night, the HRRR brings the low-pressure system back toward the southeast coast, grinding against southeastern North Carolina before finally drifting away for the northeast. The HRRR's view matches the GFS, showing moderate, not extreme rainfall, but enough for travel delays and localized flooding. Rainfall totals. What to expect now? Let's break down rainfall projections model by model. National Weather Service. Weather Prediction Center WPC Columbia. SC, approximately 1 inch Myrtle Beach. SC, approximately 2 inches Charleston. SC, 1 to 1.5 inches Eastern North Carolina. 2 to 5 inches Southern New England, 2 to 4 inches. This is the official forecast and should be treated as the most reliable guidance for now. Euro ECMWF much heavier totals along the South Carolina coast, 4 to 7 inches from Myrtle Beach to Charleston. SUG. ASTS. Significant flooding potential if this solution verifies. Closer to WPC totals inland South Carolina seas. 1 to 2 inches sharp cutoff zone west of I-95. Moderate totals in New England, 2 to 3 inches. HRRR supports higher totals inland up to 5 inches in Charleston, nearly 1 to 2 inches well inland, reaching Statesboro, GA, and Rock Hill. There is a very tight gradient in rainfall near I-95. Move 30 miles west and totals drop sharply. There is clearly a sharp cutoff on the northern edge of this system. Now let's focus on the wind threat, because while rainfall amounts are still being debated between weather models, wind forecasts are much more reliable when we follow official National Weather Service guidance. Global models often exaggerate wind speeds. Thank you guys, see you next video.